I think that we're going to have what they call the Santa Claus rally. The market's been under a lot of pressure from the last time, when you talk about elections and the uncertainty, the fear and the doubt that had entered in because we didn't have that certainty of election. But now that that's been cast aside, there's really no reason for the market to be pushed down. We also have the good news with the vaccine coming out, and that has, it's not just coming on one front. The United Kingdom has already approved the vaccine to be used there, and they kind of beat us to the punch, but their controls are a little bit different. So, but it bodes well for us as well. So we're going to see vaccines from Pfizer, from Moderna, and we can't forget AstraZeneca as well, the AstraZeneca Oxford. So these three vaccines are going to be coming to the United States, not all at once, but most certainly the first vaccine could be certainly unleashed here by the mid-December. And that, I think, is going to bode well for the market and should take us through the first month of 2021. These pandemic stocks, as you call them, are not done. The story is not done by any stretch of the imagination. As a matter of fact, we talk about Zoom, and Zoom is being much more widely used for business conferences, for bigger scale items that people are forgetting. It's not just a home thing. Will it pull back the stock a bit and right the course that it maybe moved up a little too quickly? Yes, it's going to correct the stock, but that's healthy. I think that's a very healthy thing for the stock and for any stay-at-home pandemic stock, so long as the fundamentals of those stocks are solid, which in a lot of cases they are. They will do their correction, they will pull back a little bit, but then they will continue. Once they've corrected their course, they're going to continue to make money, simply because the actual solution is so needed in the marketplace. And the ones that are not will simply start to fade to the background. There is a sector rotation that is occurring. We talked about it previously, from growth stocks to value stocks. Boeing is actually a stock that I have been talking about quietly with my clients and other media for about the better part of 5 months now. I was saying that, hey, they're moving out of the will the 737 MAX fly again to the how many new orders are we going to get now for that? And it's going to be slow, but people forget. You have to upgrade planes. You have to upgrade parts. Boeing is the beneficiary of that sector. I mean, more than Airbus at this particular time. So I think that they're going to do very well in the sector. I think that there's a lot more growth to that story, but you're absolutely right. Again, we're looking at other value plays, that this sector rotation, this movement into stocks that had long not done anything, but are still consistently making money. They still have dividends, and there's still a little bit of room for growth there, although it could be a lot, because of a sector rotation could be a very positive thing, and it can make those stocks take off like a rocket. But I don't see it happening not until second quarter of 2021, but I could be surprised. Boeing has definitely not surprised me, but I think that it's a great stock to own long term and should be part of anybody's portfolio. Getting back to your first question, should people get into these stocks right now? Have they missed the boat? Absolutely not. There is room for growth in a lot of these high quality stocks. Please be judicious. Please be careful when you're going into these stocks that you're not making a huge bet going in. You want to spread the risk around, and you want to make sure that you get into companies that you absolutely believe in, because if you don't, then there's no reason to own the stock. I think that what a lot of people don't know about this stock, about the people who own it, millennials, people in their 20s and 30s, own a big chunk of Tesla, aside from the institutions. And now that's been accepted into the S&P 500. you have to remember that mutual funds, indexes have to now own this. So that's popping the stock up and that's making the stock move. But the thing to remember with a company like Tesla is it the future? In a lot of cases, Tesla is not just the car. They have solar batteries. Our house is going to adopt those batteries. And long run, what other growth prospects are happening for Tesla? And these are the things you have to take into consideration as an investor. I myself, when I look at a company like Tesla, I say to my clients, I go, are they the future of automobiles? I mean, there's plenty of competition out there, but there's plenty of competition anyway when it comes to cars in America. So are they innovating enough to be a dominator, a market dominator in the electronic scene? And the answer right now is a resounding yes. All right. Then the second question is, what can they do to further get growth prospects? Whether it be for their cars or for the solar batteries, or any new products to draw attention to. And part of that answer is, look at what is happening in the SpaceX. It's a separate company, so you can't say they're part of Tesla, but it sure is drawing a lot of attention to a company like that. And that is just, I guess, a glimpse into what the future of what Tesla might be going forward. Although it's a bit of a stretch, but it is absolutely, they are an innovator as far as the automobile. They've actually changed the automobile industry, because a lot of big name automobile, like your GMs of the world, they're trying to catch up with that technology, but they're about 15 years behind in certain cases, with certain aspects. So once again, don't bet on it a lot, have a part of it in your portfolio, but at this particular point, I would not go more than 4 or 5% at this point. I agree with you. We are simply scratching the surface when it comes to cloud computing. Some people dabble in it if you're talking about your average person, but companies, it's a very serious, or it's actually a necessary part of their business overall, and they are big into cloud computing, so that bodes well for the industry. Now, whether it's Snowflake or another company, I think the biggest thing to remember in the industry is the growth long-term there. Is it a trend? Warren Buffett likes to get into trends, and I don't disagree. I think that there is a lot of potential for the sector. It may not be this company, or this company has run to a certain point. However, I also say, well, why not? I think if they're going to keep innovating, if they're going to keep bringing it to the forefront, this entire sector, why shouldn't investors going into that stock, and institutions as well? And that's really going to push the stock up through that price target that's been set.